Hi, Anna Dixon, welcome. And anyone else who's joining us for the first time, and hi to everyone who is coming back. This is great. It's great to be back. As a sort of prelude, before we kick off, and just to let one or two more people come in who might be later comers, I thought I've just been reading a poem that I really loved, or it's a benediction or a reflection. It's just short, by Neil Gore, and I thought I'd read it to you just to kick things off. I wish you all, every one of you, enough sun to keep you bright. I wish you enough rain so you wish for the sun. I wish you enough happiness to keep alive your spirit. I wish you enough pain so the small joys in life seem bigger. I wish you enough gain to satisfy want. I wish you enough loss to appreciate what you possess. I wish you enough hellos to give you strength for the final goodbye. I wish you enough so that you wish for nothing more. Isn't that good? It's just gone 4:30. It's Friday, so it must be time for the first Ode to Autumn YouTube Live of 2021. Oh yes, it's great to be back. Welcome back. It's been too long. I hope you are doing well, and if you feel like you're not, I hope these next few minutes are a time of comfort and companionship and togetherness for you. I hope you've got a mug of hot chocolate or some marshmallows or something suitably autumnal to help you settle into the next short while. And I really hope too that these sessions on Friday, the next few Friday afternoons, will kind of wrap themselves around you like a warm cardigan on a mellow autumn afternoon. The writer of Psalm 57 says, "Awake my soul, awake my soul." And what better place to start really a series and just gathering back than to say, "Awake my soul." So I'd love us for a moment as we start to close our eyes and take a breath, if you would. Relax your shoulders. And I'd love you to become aware of your own presence. Lifeblood coursing through you. Energy kind of in your body. To become aware of your life, your very soul. Awake, my soul. Awake. And then I'd love you to bring that self, that soul, that whole self, just really humbly now to this moment before you and to God within this space. To help us do that, we'll use that lovely word hineni, and which is the Hebrew word for here I am. We just say here I am actually. But I'd love you to take a nice, slow, deep breath in, and on the out breath, whisper, here I am. Nice, deep, slow breath in, just relaxing your body. And as you breathe out, just whisper aloud, here I am. And one more slow, deep breath in. And then breathing out, a whispered, here I am. And please stay in that kind of attitude of quiet connection and communion now, as you could just continue to breathe that here I am. But I'd love you, if you would, to just open your eyes and post in one comment in the comments, if you're able to. If you're not able to comment, please don't worry, just have a look at them and just think about what I'm going to say and just speak it aloud. I'd love you to post in the comment one line. We've done this before, that just says, here I am, ... And it might be that you say, here I am ready for autumn, or here I am in pain, or here I am in Winchester, or just whatever actually comes to you, just as an act of awareness and of bringing something of yourself to this community and to God in this moment. So just when you're ready, just put a line in the comments, and let's just see if you come up. Thank you, Linda. Here I am, overwhelmed. Thank you, and peace be with you. Here I am in the warm sunshine. Here I am embracing this new season. Here I am running youth, ready for running youth tonight, but so needing this space before the crowds. Bless you, Daryl. Here I am listening to God. Here I am resting after a very busy week. Here I am feeling thankful. at peace, feeling reflective, enjoying a crumpet, recovering from a medical procedure, battered and yet relieved. We bring all of this. We bring ourselves, we bring our whole selves, not trying to hide, but just bringing ourselves in absolute vulnerability and trust to the space and to God. Facing challenges moment by moment, but thankful for this time. Once you've popped something in, you might like to close your eyes again. Take a breath and sense God's presence with you and within you. And as you breathe in God's "Here I am" to you, and imagine God speaking those words. So on a nice deep breath in, just hearing God speak those words to you, "Here I am." And breathing out. And breathing in God's "Here I am." And breathing out, perhaps in relief. And breathing in God's "Here I am." Just putting those two together now. So breathing in God's "Here I am." Breathing out your "Here I am." And just for a few breaths now, finding ourselves at that deepest place of communion with God through our breath, a response to God's presence, an awareness of God's presence, and a bringing of our own. Just keep that going for a few moments now. Let's remember that's the rhythm at the heart of everything, really, isn't it? That love, that connection, that interweaving, embracing presence. And finally, just for now, I'd love you to picture our community of souls awakening. More than 70 here across different parts of the world right now, and many more will gather later to watch again. Stretched across the world, but reaching across the space to each other. This is a really lovely community that gathers. There is distance between us, but my prayer today is that God will bless the space between us so that you feel held within it. There is no height or depth that we can go from God's love. And sometimes we need reminding of that. So we honor the connection we have with each other today, which is held within God's love. Why don't we say, just for a few moments, "Here we are." Breathing in God's "Here I am." And we respond with "Here we are." Just one more time, God's "Here I am." And our response together is "Here we are." Amen. Amen. Thank you for putting your "Here I ams" up there. Very, very moving and wonderful to see them all. I would love to say a brief but big thank you if you have written to me or have been thinking or praying for me and my family over what's been a fairly eventful summer. If you don't know, my appendix ruptured, and it was quite nasty for a while. I was in hospital for 6 days or so, but the NHS were wonderful, and came out after 6 days to begin a really good process of recovery. It did knock the stuffing out of me when combined with the long COVID, but Catherine and I both feel that we are definitely edging incrementally towards greater energy and strength now, for which we really are grateful. And we have gained so much energy from your love and good wishes over the last year. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do feel a bit mentally slow sometimes, so there could be buffering today, whether it's from the internet or from the dodgy brain receptors in my head. But if either happens, then please take a breath and I'll be back with you very shortly. From your emails, I know that we have a full spectrum of human experience represented here in our community. Some of you have been enjoying fresh starts or lovely holidays and the chance to get away for the first time in ages. And I know some of you have been going through far, far worse than me. So I wanted to light a candle for you if you are struggling, and for anyone we know beyond our community who is struggling. So you might if you would like to, just either light a candle yourself or put a name into the chat as a representation of our prayers. And we hold whoever it is that we're thinking of right now in our minds, we hold them in our heart, and we hold them gently and humbly within the love of God. Not as some kind of empty ritual, but knowing that we've asked God to bless the space between us, that they too will be held in God's love, whatever their condition, and that they will know God's peace and love with them. Thank you, Terry and Kate, Freddie, Sarah, Michelle, Janet, and many, many others that we know and love. She'll put the candle with my kingfisher. Sarah, Charlie, Steve, and Eve, Becky, Christian, Michelle, Margaret, Patty, Anne, Lizzie. So many people. Colleagues and friends in Myanmar. Thanks, Linda. Just keep them coming as we continue, and as any names scroll up, we offer them to God's love this afternoon. It's a lovely, lovely time to pick back up together again, because last time we gathered, I don't know if you remember what it was last time we gathered, but it was the summer solstice, June the 21st. And in a few days' time, next Wednesday, it will be the autumn equinox. And by the way, there's a full moon on the Tuesday before that. So I don't know if you've seen the moon, Michelle. I know you have. In the last few days, it's been absolutely dreamy. So do step outside and watch the moon, and remember this community as it swells to its fullness on Tuesday, in time almost for the autumn equinox on Wednesday. So we've actually gone a full quarter of a way round the sun since we last met. The autumn equinox, and it's its gateway into autumn, can remind us, can't it, that seemingly opposite things like dark and light, like night and day, like life and death, or even spirit and matter, aren't opposites at all, but are part of what Parker Palmer calls a hidden wholeness within creation and within our heart, if we can carry them there together. They meet, they embrace, they ebb, and they flow. And I know it's quite hard for our minds to cope with this sometimes, because we like to think in opposites and neat categories and binary opposites at that. But one thing I found with a slightly slower mind recently is that you can defer judgment on the things that you can't quite resolve mentally. And that's okay. And instead you can invite the soul to meet this moment and to meet God within it, however perplexing it may be. I mentioned in my St. Paul's Cathedral email reflection this morning that you can do that meeting through simple physical acts that we call practice. I wonder what practice helps you or could help you to step with love into this season ahead. For me, just literally stepping outside with or without shoes into autumn, especially at twilight, actually, or early in the misty mornings, really helps me to bring my here I am to the changing season and to meet it with some love and grace. Here I am, not quite as sharp as I would like to be, but here I am breathing the air. Here I am loving the sight of red berries in the hedge and the birds picking at them. Here I am not knowing quite what this transition holds. Here I am trusting that even if I don't feel I've achieved anything much today, that still I will bear fruit in God's grace. Here I am shedding leaves and letting go. Here I am, part of autumn's colour and mystery and beauty. Here we are. Here we are. I said in my first piece for St. Paul's a couple of weeks ago that we can try to meet autumn in three different ways: with the kind of love we might show an old friend, or with the kindness we might offer a stranger, or with the reverence that we might reserve for God. And I'd love just to touch on each one of those, just literally for 10 seconds or so, just to help us reflect on how we might meet autumn. So first, you might like to close your eyes, by the way, and use your imagination here. But first, meeting autumn with the kind of love we might show to an old friend. Wonder, what is it that you are looking forward to about the return of this season? What's gorgeously familiar about its smell as you embrace it, or its sound, its feel? How can you welcome autumn home? It might be to dig out the fire pit, or to put some fairy lights up outside, or make chutney, or whatever it is that you do to sort of welcome autumn. Part of your practice. Whatever it is, just in a moment of quiet now, say welcome. Welcome, old friend. Welcome. Now let's think about meeting the season with the kindness you might offer a stranger. What about autumn, or just this season of life that you find yourself in, remains a mystery to you? Or what perhaps feels unknown or unpredictable about the time that you're in at the moment? What's different to normal this time around? Try in this moment to bring yourself with kindness, to say with an open heart, welcome, stranger. Welcome, stranger. And finally, we can meet the season with the reverence that we might normally reserve for God. And that's because this is God's season, and we meet God within it, within nature, and within the season of our life as fruits open. Some feed others beautifully, magnificently. Some go uneaten and fall to enrich the soil. Some offer their seeds up to be planted for the year ahead. How can you meet this season with the reverence that acknowledges God's presence deep within the mulchy disintegration underfoot, as much as in the radiant colours and the sunshine? Bring your reverence now, and let's say, welcome, Lord. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope one of those three may have really resonated for you, and you might like to go away and reflect a little more on the nature of your welcome to this season that's pretty well upon us. To end with, and I'm going to ask for one more response before we fully end, but to end with, I'd just love to share a poem that I discovered recently by the wonderful Mary Oliver called Lines Written in the Days of Growing Darkness. And I've really enjoyed reflecting on this for myself. Every year, she writes, every year we have been witness to it, how the world descends into a rich mash in order that it may resume. And therefore, who would cry out to the petals on the ground to stay, knowing as we must how the vivacity of what was is married to the vitality of what will be? I don't say it's easy, but what else will do if the love one claims to have for the world be true? So, she says, let us go on. Let the sun be swinging east, and the ponds be cold and black, and the sweets of the year be doomed. So, let us go on. Though the sun be swinging east, on into the hidden wholeness of autumn and all that it brings us this year within that hidden wholeness. So let us go on. And I would love to ask you, how would you like to go on? I really hope this might be a refrain for us as we step into autumn with a whole range of feelings this year. So let us go on. And I'd love to invite you just to write in the chat that line, so, comma, let us go on. And then put an adverb there, or, you know, just some sort of describing word or phrase that describes how you would like to go on into this season, that the threshold of which we are now upon. And it would be lovely to see those just begin to go up as an offering of prayer and awareness for this community. Let us go on in peace. Thank you, Laura. So let us go on in trust and love. So let us go on being thankful. So let us go on embracing two great uncertainties. So let us go on with a wholehearted embracing of all that this season will bring. So let us go on rejoicing. So let us go on fearlessly. So let us go on trustingly and hopefully. So let us go on bravely with open eyes in hope, trusting the dark. So let us go on in joy, fully and warmly and with hope. Let us go on knowing God better, reverently, jumping in puddles and kicking up the leaves. Let us go on muffled and snuggled up into the unknown future, intentionally and in abundant life. It's good to be back. It's so lovely to be back with you. I will be back next week. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and do like this video if indeed you did like this video and reflection. But most of all, of course, as we prepare to head into autumn, let us go on and go well. Just keep those. Well, let's just hold this space for a moment and just keep those. So let us go on just for a few moments before we say our goodbye. And you might like to just in the minute or so that I'll give you to pop anything else up. Just breathe in again. God's here I am. And breathe out. You're here I am to God. Just remember that we welcome this season and we look for God within it, within the mulch as well as the sunshine. And we pray, so let us go on. Amen. See you next week. Thank you.